No matter what ELO you find yourself in, the concept of being stuck in a specific rank is engraved into the mind of most, if not all, competitive players. A consistent loop of winning and losing is sure to cause frustration, but the common resort of blaming teammates or blaming your mistakes on having an off day isn't gonna get you very far. Because of this, we are here to provide you with personalized tips and tricks that will help you escape each individual rank and reach your desired goals. What's up, ProGuides family? My name is Matt, and today we're going to be going over how you can escape your ELO and climb to whatever rank you desire. If you hop online and consistently think to yourself, why can't I push out of Iron? Or why can't I get out of Diamond and make my way after that sought after immortal rank? Well, this video's for you. Now without further ado, let's get into what you should personally be focusing on in order to climb the ladder. If you feel like you've been playing a lot yet can't get out of Iron, there is no need to worry. This is the perfect time to get a grip of the fundamentals that are required, not only to reach bronze, but also ranks that are much higher, like gold or plat. I don't doubt that you've heard the concept of learning fundamentals in the past, but you might have found yourself wondering what that actually means in the case of Valorant. Well, firstly, you should focus on the fundamentals of the game itself. For example, taking some time to truly understand when it's ideal to tap, burst, or spray with your gun, and which one of those is going to increase your chance to win duels at any range. Another factor that is also associated with game fundamentals is map callouts. Although this may not directly help you at winning duels or doing particularly better yourself, it will no doubt help you better understand the game and allow you to make callouts for your team, which in turn will help you win more games. Secondly, after you learn the general fundamentals of the game, it's ideal to focus all of your time into learning 2 or 3 agents in order to learn the ins and outs of your agents and focus on improving with a limited roster. Firstly, I would like to say that if you have made your way to bronze, good job. And that's not a joke, you undoubtedly understand the general fundamentals of the game and have gained the necessary skills required to climb out of Iron. I'm not making fun of you, that's a genuinely commendable achievement. Now, before reaching higher ranks where lacking skills will significantly reduce win potential, you're going to need to gain the knowledge required to truly understand the minimap and use the crucial information that it provides to your advantage. It's likely that if you weren't fortunate enough to place in bronze, you would have likely found the minimap to be overwhelming when having to climb out of Iron. Once you've done that, however, learning the minimap will truly give you an edge over your enemies and other people in your rank. Although your teammates should always call out the enemy's location when gaining sight on them, you've probably realized by now that this simply doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're going to have to rely on your own awareness and utilization of the information provided to you in order to know when to rotate or when to communicate to your team that you're in danger. Furthermore, the minimap would allow you to understand the plays that your team is attempting to execute. For example, if you see a teammate attempting to flank the enemy, it's probably not a good idea to hold back too much. You might want to sandwich the enemy in order to trade for your teammate or to kill more enemies together. In addition to learning the minimap, bronze is also the time to begin actually pointing out your mistakes. At this point, you should already have enough knowledge to understand what you're doing wrong. So, rather than tilting after every death, why don't you ask yourself what you could have done better so that you can help yourself in similar situations later on. Furthermore, you can also utilize the power of self-evaluation when something does go your way. For instance, if you push up and get a kill or two, ask yourself why that worked. Doing this might allow you to differentiate that play from the one you did 2 or 3 games ago that didn't end off as well. Ultimately, no matter if your in-game risk pays off or gets you killed, understanding why the outcome was what it was will undoubtedly assist you in the future. Once you have reached silver, you should already know what to do in most situations, even if you haven't mastered how to perfectly execute the tactics that you're thinking up mid-game. In order to better yourself at this point, one major step you could take towards the higher ranks is gaining knowledge regarding common map spots on every single map. This is going to directly help you win more duels when attacking and retaking sites on defense. Okay, so think about it this way. Let's say you are attacking from short on the map Bind. If you were going in blind, you would probably swing wide in an attempt to clear the site, which, let's be honest, would probably get you shot from every direction. Alternatively, if you knew where the defenders were likely to hold, you could probably clear those spots much easier. In this case, you would clear lamps, heaven, and default one by one in order to ensure that you will not be shot from more than one location at the same time. Ultimately, this is going to result in you winning more duels and becoming a more valuable teammate. In addition to advancing your knowledge of the map, you can also significantly benefit from truly understanding the value of economy throughout the game. This includes what to buy and when to buy it, alongside knowing when to save and when it might be better to go for exits, even if it puts you at the risk of dying. I know this all sounds like a lot, but let's start from the top, knowing when to buy. At first, this seems really simple. You buy when you have money and you don't buy when you have no money. It's easy, right? Well, that's not always the case. For instance, if you lost the first round, yet you killed 4 of the enemies in addition to planting the bomb, your team would likely have enough money to buy weapons that would give them a fairly good chance of winning round 2. Ideally, this would also make the enemy break for round 3, which would put you in the lead going into round 4. While you may want to buy sometimes, however, breaking the bank is also not ideal all of the time, as it can just put you in a loop of losing and forcing, which is going to cause you to be down a lot of rounds very quickly. Situations like these are why the economy is so important. Secondly, you want to focus on when it is good to save and when it's better to go for exits. This decision is only to be made when you have 1 or maybe 2 people alive and the bomb has already been planted. Fortunately, this decision is usually an easy one to make. If your team is sitting better financially than the enemy, then it's worth the risk of dying in an attempt to take valuable guns from the enemy. On the other hand, if you are low on money, it's usually better to save and buy a gun for an ally in order to have a better chance at winning the next round. So gold is an interesting rank. Hey, once again, if you have reached this far, congratulations. You have surpassed the lower leagues and are now well on your way to becoming a more advanced player. But you should be careful, because gold is where many people begin to face massive roadblocks, due to the simple fact that this is the ELO where many players make the decision to take the game more seriously. So, in an attempt to help you avoid spending weeks or months in gold, let's go over some of the slightly more advanced tactics that could help you rank up faster. Firstly, rotating. Before gold, rotating probably seemed like a pretty simple thing. If you're defending on B and your team calls A, you rotate, but that shouldn't be your thought process anymore, because gold players are likely to think about their playstyles and strategies to get on the site. That means you're going to see a lot more fakes and rotations from the attackers. When defending, you should try to remember that there are a few rules regarding rotation. If you are holding a site and your team calls 1 or 2 people in another area, you shouldn't instantly rotate. Wait for one of 3 situations to play out. Number 1, if your team calls out a bomb, this can be your cue to assist them simply because any flankers coming to your site would have no power without the spike. 2, if your teammates begin to die, that can also be a good reason to rotate. You don't want the enemy to plant spike while you're still across the map holding a different site. And 3, ideally, if your teammates are able to hold their ground and kill a few enemies without dying, just don't worry about rotating over. In that case, many teams are going to decide to save or to come towards another site. If they choose the latter, you're going to be there to stop their push and deny them the spike plant. Other than rotating, gold is also the rank in which developing movement abilities like jiggle peeking is crucial. This isn't really a difficult concept to comprehend, but it is an important one. Jiggle peeking will allow you to gain information regarding the enemy without having to use any abilities. I'm not going to go in depth right now about how jiggle peeking works since we have other videos dedicated to the topic, but you should know that gold is where you should start focusing on mastering small movement tactics like that. Plat is the gateway rank into the higher leagues. If you find yourself on plat and can't seem to climb to diamond, then you are sure to experience just a little bit of frustration at one point or another. And on the subject of frustration, we should probably discuss why tilting truly starts to take a toll in this rank. Before you get to plat, many players are often not able to punish those who push in or force buy every round due to tilting from previous rounds or games. But once you've surpassed the threshold of casual to advanced, people are going to exploit your misplays a whole lot more. You know, from personal experience, I can say that I have seen many good players, even at diamond level, stuck in low to mid plat due to their tilt. They might find themselves winning a decent amount, but when they get hit by a loss or two, well, they continue playing and experience significant drops in ELO over a very short period of time. It's probably going to seem bland, as you've probably heard the phrase "don't play when you're tilted" hundreds of times, but guys, it really does help to take a small break. This doesn't mean that if you have an off game you shouldn't play for the rest of the week, but if you feel like you're doing consistently bad, just do something else for an hour or two that might take your mind off the game. Take a shower, eat a snack, take a walk, play with your dog, literally anything that might help. After that, even if your break was only 15 minutes, come back and give it another try. You're going to feel significant improvements in your mentality and aim when you are refreshed. Secondly, perhaps a more direct approach to improving is actually mastering your abilities. By the time you get to this rank, you've probably already chosen your desired playstyle and characters that cater to that playstyle. So, as you may have imagined, mastering those characters' abilities is the next step. For instance, if you play Phoenix, you probably already know that you can use his Blaze ability, or his wall, in order to heal yourself. However, once you become a more skillful player, understanding that you can also use walls to split sights on attack is crucial information that may help you win important rounds throughout the game. If you have managed to hit Diamond, but you're still looking to rise up further and hit that legendary Immortal rank, well, just remember that you have already surpassed 90% of the general population. I mean, seriously, good job. Now, because you have likely already grasped the knowledge required to play your individual character pool at a very high level, it's now the time to begin focusing on teamwork. Now, I get it, this seems like a low-level concept, simply because people in ranks like Gold and Silver already understand that it is better to push in together rather than alone, but that's not what I'm talking about. When I say teamwork, what I really mean is synergy, and by that, I mean team compositions and ability coordination. For instance, although a Sage may often use her wall to take sights such as Beyond Split, she may actually find it beneficial to throw a slow orb rather than her wall during specific fights, but maybe only because Phoenix said that he was going to use his ultimate. The Sage needs to understand that the use of her wall would restrict Phoenix from gaining sightlines on the enemy, and that sort of thinking is what truly distinguishes Diamond players from Immortal players. Plays like these, although situational, are crucial when trying to reach ranks composed of the top 1% of players in your respective region. Another aspect that plays a major part in synergy is, of course, team composition. Many games in higher ranks are lost on the agent select screen simply because one team chooses an ideal metacomp while the other is missing smokes or has too many duelists. Because of this, Diamond may be where you want to slightly expand your agent pool. This doesn't mean that you need to learn every agent in the roster or anything like that, it's just maybe a few extra. Perhaps a duelist and an agent that has smoke at his disposal. That might help you just win a few more games and reduce team tilt from before the game even begins. To all of the people out there who find themselves unable to surpass a certain rank, we really hope that this video helped. This is all we have for today, but focusing on the tips we gave you is surely going to help you rank up the ladder and become a more skillful player. One last thing before ending this video off, I would like to say that the tips provided are technically not solely for the rank we place them at. For instance, if you are a gold player and you feel like you're still struggling with a concept discussed in the silver section, then feel free to practice that as well. All of these tactics are going to build off one another, and ultimately, everything that we've talked about is intended to help you improve. Anyway, as always, good luck, stay safe, and I hope you all have some amazing Valorant competitive games.